So that's when people usually try a DPA, even for voice, for the first time, clip it on their shirt, check 1, 2, they go, oh wow, well this sounds different. It's because it sounds like them, and it's a completely natural them, and nothing is kind of pre-EQ'd and affected. DPA is a Danish microphone manufacturer. So everything handmade in Denmark, high quality, mostly smaller condenser microphones. We only make condenser microphones, and we're known for the very, very tiny variety. Something to the effect of that, which is probably going to be hard to see on camera.
But wait a minute. I've always heard that you've got to have a large sensor to pick up bass, and that thing is smaller than a grain of rice.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means the quality can't be that good.
Quality is fantastic, and it's full frequency, so it picks up all the bass you need. Yeah, absolutely. So it's 20 hertz to 20K. It's just what every other large diaphragm mic is going to pick up. It's definitely a misconception, and it comes from a long time ago when lavaliers, of course, were first made. People made them for voice. Smaller diaphragms, easy to pick up voice, and we originally made ours for music reproduction, so they needed to be able to pick up an upright bass or a bassoon or something percussion, something like that. So ours are made for full frequency.
Are these the kind of microphones that I see stage actors wear that's woven into their hair that's right up here?
Correct. Yep.
So the only people that can really use a DPA microphone is a stage actor on Broadway, which means it's a very small market.
We like to think everybody can use a DPA. Yeah, no, it's and this is just one of the few, of course, that the stage actors do wear. But anybody doing any kind of content creation, broadcasters, film. We do a lot of video stuff because having stuff hidden, of course, in your costume, and then having the mic hidden on your shirt or something like that. So,
one of the things I was considering as I was looking for mics for this show is I looked at the DPA website to see if there was a microphone that would work well in a high noise environment. Mm-hmm. Most of the time with a headset mic, you want to be in a quieter environment or more controlled environment. Yep. Would you recommend DPA for outdoor conditions or where there's lots of wind noise or if there's a lot of ambient noise like there's here in a trade show?
Yeah, fortunately and sometimes unfortunately for us, we have a lot of customers that will only call us when they have difficult applications. So they won't call us for a normal sit-down interview, quiet room. They'll kind of go with any microphone. They end up calling us when they're in something like this where it's a large, maybe it's a political convention and they have a big PA speaker system blaring, and then you have to have the talking head still be able to be heard without feedback. That's when we get the phone call. With whether it's a lavalier or a headset. So we have a lot of mics that are really good at ignoring everything else and focusing on the speaker. Yeah.
DPA does have a wide variety of microphones. What do you think the strengths are?
We really focus on clarity and accuracy. We come from a measurement microphone background. Our previous company was B&K, Brule & Care, an old Danish company who's still around and makes measurement microphones. That's where we broke off from years ago. So the engineers, they still make mics as if they're making measurement microphones. It just might happen to be for performance and not for true measurement. So I think it's when people use the mic and put it in front of the source, whether it's the person or the musician or whatever, it sounds like that source, and that's really what we're known for. That's what we try to achieve. We don't want to alter anything.
Okay, but let me push back. You've got, we'll say 12, I don't know what the number is, but 12 different microphones. Mm-hmm. If all the microphones are striving for accuracy, why do you need 11 of them? More is better, right? It's always better. True. Well, listen, everybody wants to be individualized for the microphones too. So especially if you're miking up a stage, for instance, you of course have a mic on every person. So, well, I guess a better way to think of it is, how do I pick the right mic? I can't afford to buy all of them.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily afford to rent all of them. What criteria should I use? If every mic is accurate and they all have a 20 to 20K audio spectrum, and they're all headsets, hypothetically, because that's what DPA is known for, how do I pick?
Application. Is it in a noisy room like we were just talking about? Something like this where you want a directional headset just to cut out all the background noise, or maybe it's a pastor, with a big giant PA behind them and a choir going. They want to be able to cut out all that noise. it's really application, because what we end up doing a lot with our microphones, whether it's a lavalier or a headset, it's the same capsule inside for us. It's identical capsule. We just change the form factor depending on the application. So it could be a clip-on mic because you need to do a sit-down interview.
So the mic part is the same, but the environment the mic is kept in, lavalier or headset or little bead of rice,
Yep.
that's different.
Correct, exactly. So even the lavaliers, we have a directional lavalier that just focuses basically right at the source, and we have an omni lavalier that picks up 360 degrees. If you take the thing apart, it's the exact same microphone. We alter it acoustically with, basically the housing of it to tailor how it picks up. So it really depends on your application, honestly. Inherently it's the same microphone, but do you need it for an instrument or for speech, loud room, quiet room,
Just as an idle thought, I have seen audio engineers take a microphone, instead of pointing it up at the mic, they point it straight down at the floor. Why would I do that?
A lot of popping. All that pee popping, or sometimes just kind of breath noise, and you can hear it, and then if it hits at the wrong angle and you just get that loud pop,
And it can still pick up the sound?
Yeah, because it's picking up 360 degrees. Those have to be omnidirectional, and it's picking up everywhere. So honestly, it doesn't change the way the sound is. It looks kind of weird, right? You wouldn't think of that.
So the directional mic's got to point up, but an omni can point in any direction.
Exactly, yeah. And omnis are great for hiding under your clothing because it doesn't matter where it is, and if it's hidden, it doesn't matter which way it's pointing. Yeah.
I don't know how to break this to you, but a guy looking just like you was sitting in that chair, except representing Wisicom.
I've heard this before, yeah.
What's going on?
I'm a glutton for attention. I just need it. DPA, the parent company it's the same parent company that owns DPA and owns Wisicom. Wisicom's Italian and DPA is Danish. And DPA in the States took over basically the commercial responsibility for Wisicom US in the States. So now we are in effect one company.
Same engineering staff?
Completely different. Completely different. There's a lot of collaboration and communication now. There was always that because we actually had a previous history of kind of working on stuff for each other, even when we weren't connected. But completely different manufacturing and R&D and everything. But we are, in fact, now starting to cross-talk a little bit about, hey, we're working on this. Can you take a look at it? Hey, we think we need this. What do you think?
I'm very familiar with Tram, because I love Tram. I love what it does to my voice. I'm familiar with Sennheiser. I'm familiar with Rode. Why should I consider DPA?
I think two main reasons. We and I mentioned it earlier, the clarity and the accuracy. That's one of our big things, and we don't make a mic sound a certain way. How do I say this? We don't EQ it to make it do a certain thing.
You don't shape the sound. Yeah,
so we want that to be the engineer, the end user, whoever that is, the guy in post or the person recording it. So that's our claim to fame. There are other microphones that, like you mentioned, a few that are great. They sound fine, and they're very tailored for voice, especially the lavaliers. We don't tailor for voice, so that's when people usually try a DPA, even for voice, for the first time. Clip it on their shirt. Check 1, 2, they go, oh, wow, well, this sounds different. It's because it sounds like them, and it's completely natural them, and nothing is kind of pre-EQ'd and affected. And they might not be looking for that sound. Maybe they want the pre-EQ'd and affected. Well, that's not us, and that's fine. There's plenty of other great companies that make very good lavaliers. We want people to be able to take that lav off their shirt, that they would just have the CEO doing a corporate presentation, and then stick it on a guitar and do a recording. That's the whole point. We want it to. It's one microphone that can kind of be used for anything. Versus this sounds great for voice, but sounds horrible on this piano. We don't want that.
What's the latest news from DPA here at the show?
We just released a new technology called Core Plus technology. A few years ago, we released something called Core technology, which we just increased our dynamic range of our miniature capsules. We lowered the noise floor. We just made what was really good better. We took that a step further and made it better. Lowered the noise floor even more, basically to something that's not even measurable, and increased the dynamic range. So now a microphone that we thought was fantastic to begin with, we made it quieter and more clear, more clarity out of it. So that's a big improvement for us, and it's an internal improvement. It's not a new product. It's it's basically a new preamp inside the products. We also released Micro Lock, and I have one right here. It's a little locking connector. We used to have something called Micro Dot, which is our kind of proprietary connector we use. We released Micro Lock, which now has some teeth on here, and when you lock this thing down, it clicks and locks in, and you can't unlock it without pulling a little spring-loaded sleeve and getting it off. So meaning these things won't back themselves out if it's on stage or on a broadcast or something. And the big new thing that we just released, and it will be shipping hopefully in Europe this month, is first DPA wireless microphones. So completely independent from our WYSICOM connection. They've gotten under the hood and helped us tweak it a little bit, but it's a DPA wireless 100% from start to finish. And it's digital wireless. It's very different from what WYSICOM does, which is great, but that's brand new for us.
If you were to summarize the key features, the key benefits that DPA provides, what would you say?
I say we try to make the user's job easier by giving them the most accurate reproduction of whatever they're trying to accomplish, and then let them tailor things the way they need to by having a completely flat microphone, and flat but also accurate on and off axis. So one of the things that we end up doing a lot is paying attention to what the mic does, not here, but out here, and how it interacts with all this other stuff on the outside, and how it interacts with other microphones. We mentioned on stage, 12 or 15 other microphones on stage. If you don't have a mic that's causing phasing issues with these other 15 microphones, your job immediately got easier. Right off the bat, you can bring the faders up and go, I don't have phasing. This is fantastic. That's what we want, is to give the engineer or the user an easier tool to do what they need to do and get there quicker, obviously. Yeah.
Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you.